Today's video, we're going to be talking about the Miami Heat and their recent struggles. Now, before we get into the Heat, I just want to give all my respects to the Milwaukee Bucks, man. They're up 3-0 right now. The series is done for. They're about to move to the second round. I believe they're going to be playing the Brooklyn Nets in the next round, so good luck to them on that. But shouts out to the Bucks, man. They took care of business. Now, as far as the Miami Heat goes, this is rough for them, man. The Heat last season, a very successful last season in the bubble. They made it to the NBA championship, lost to the Lakers. And this season, we're the 6th seed. Another pretty good year for them. And then in the playoffs, ran into the Milwaukee Bucks. And the first game was very, very close. These recent two games have not been close at all. And I know, I'm not going to ever take away the bubble from them. You know, them making it to the championship, I can't take it away. I can't do that. I have to give the respect where it's due. But it's like, it does make you sit back and think a little bit like, did they make it to the championship just because of the bubble? Now, I'm not going to take it away from them, but it does just make me think, what if it was because of the bubble? Because they're playing the Bucks again, and both of these teams are virtually the same, except the Bucks added a main piece such as Jrue Holiday. Yes, that's a big factor. In the Heat, they had Victor Oladipo before he went down in injury, so those factors are in here as well. But for the most part, both of these teams are basically the same teams as last year, but the result is not the same. Now, there are multiple reasons for that. As I just mentioned, the bubble, I feel like that's a tad bit of a reason for that. But also, man, just in this series, some dudes aren't showing up. And specifically, Robinson, Hero, and Nunn. I'm talking about on defense specifically, man. They are not showing up. They're letting Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday go insane on them. I feel like that's probably the biggest reason why the Heat are losing right now is those three guys on the defense end of the floor are just not playing well right now. They're not playing good, and it's allowing the Bucks to score at will. And when the Bucks can rely on Middleton and Holiday to play well, that's great for them because they have Giannis on the other end doing crazy things. So when you're allowing Middleton and Holiday to get off, you're going to be screwed because obviously you can't stop Giannis. There's nothing you can do with that. But what you can do is slow down Chris Middleton and slow down Jrue Holiday. But when you're letting them score the ball, assist the ball, open up the floor for other players, it's a recipe for disaster. And then on the offensive end of the floor for the Heat, you guys aren't looking too good over there either. I mean, Jimmy Butler, he's the only one who's getting points, but even Jimmy Butler, he's never been known as a consistent shooter. And in this series, they're trying to make him a consistent shooter because other guys on the roster just aren't scoring the ball right now. And that's not good for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's strength is not consistently, over and over and over shooting the ball. That's not what he's supposed to do. And that's what they're making him do this series. He's not hitting the shots because he's not a consistent shooter. He's never been a consistent shooter. And then on top of that, when you're going up against the Bucks, who have a great defensive team, that's going to be even worse. So when your main guy, Jimmy Butler, is getting terrorized on defense and he has to force up shots, the other guys on the roster have to contribute. Dragic, Hero, and Nunn are not contributing on offense as well. And that's where they're losing this, man. And honestly, it just feels like the Heat don't really have much fight to them right now. There's not as much passion and fire as there was last year. It just feels so different than how it was last year. Last year, the Heat felt like they had so much energy and fire to them. But we head over to this season and they're going up against the Bucks. It just doesn't feel that way anymore. Now, the Heat are still a fairly young team. A few players are fairly young. Specifically Tyler Hero, Bam, and Precious Achiuwa. Those guys being in the playoffs, that's a good thing for them. They're taking this L right now, but this is good for them. Losing in the finals last year, that's a lesson learned. This year, losing to the Bucks, that's a lesson learned. So when Jimmy Butler gets older, Trevor Ariza, Dragic, these guys are getting older in their careers. Eventually, they're going to end up falling off. And once they fall off, you're going to have the new guys to replace them. Bam, Hero, and Precious. So it's good for them, honestly, to be taking these L's right now. It just sucks to see them struggling, but, this is a part of the NBA game. This is how players get better. Magic Johnson is one of the few guys who immediately came into the league and was already on a good team and made it to the finals. Jordan struggled for years. Isaiah Thomas struggled for years. So players struggle, players get better. This is a part of the thing. Even the guy who you're going up against, Giannis, he's struggling right now. He hasn't made it to the NBA finals yet, okay? These type of things happen. So it's all cool, Heat fans. Just this offseason, man, you need to replace, in my opinion, you need to replace Ariza and Iguodala. Those guys, in my personal opinion, have to get replaced. They're a bit too old for my taste, and they're not really providing that much for you. So I feel like those guys need to be replaced. And have this offseason recuperating, improving, and getting your players better. Next season, the Heat will be back. They will be back in the playoffs. the Heat are not done. But this is a big L for y'all. So take the L and move on. Prepare for the next season. So let me know how y'all feel in the comment section below. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Thank y'all for 1K. I'm out.